Hi everyone, I'm Philippe, CEO from CrowdSec, and I'd like to talk to you about passwords and how to have a good password strategy to help you, remember them, but also secure yourself. So, this very famous cartoonist, XKCD, made a very smart cartoon about, what we failed here. So this password is showing is supposed to be a secure one. That's fine, and it's not so secure, by the way. And on the other hand, it's really hard to remember. But if you happen to use 4 words and aggregate them together, first of all, you will never forget your password. And on top of that, it's extremely robust. So he nailed it, and let's see how we can understand what's at stake. So take those 2 passwords that are on screen. One is a very classical one. It's kind of correct, but by adding 2 characters that are not in the standard dictionaries or brute forcing system, you will make them 100,000 times stronger. Yeah, this is the order of magnitude, 100,000 times, just by adding 2 characters that you picked among like tens of special characters. So think about it. It's very simple to enhance your current password security. So the best practice here is to use a password wallet. You can consider LastPass, Bitwarden, 1Password, things like this KeePass as safe at time of writings at least, and they will help you generate passwords and store them safely. This is very most likely the best way of proceeding nowadays. For websites, you can still store your passwords, generate them randomly through, for example, Chrome, and store them in the password.google.com. It works, it's very decently safe, and it will help you on a daily basis. And every 2 months or so, go to Have I Been Pwned. This website from Troy Hunt allows you to type in your email and see if your email and password has been leaked somewhere into a recent breach, which is super important. Now, about password strength, obviously the best passwords are the ones that are randomly generated, like the one you see in the first line. These are close to unbreakable by usual attacks. You can still have a password that you can remember, like staples, shoes, and nails. It's pretty easy to remember. And you can put in between some special characters. Here there are 2 underscores and 2 comma. So that's something you can remember. And it's still very, very safe. Weak passwords are really the one that can be found in dictionaries, words from the classical daily life, movie titles, first name, your football team name, whatever. Everything that I show under is really, really, really weak. For example, John having his birth date right after is really not a good idea. So, and then extremely weak, consider them already breached, by the way. Everything that is related to you directly. So license plate number, ID, passport, stuff like that, your address, whatever. Super easy to find. So obviously if you're using them and you're targeted, if you get targeted by a hacker, they will first of all get information about you and potentially use those information in the first place. So if you ever have to build a password, remember some few basic rules. Like you should always include special characters, like I told you, and also you can categorize them in 3 or 4 different categories. I would say 4. Basic, the one that are unimportant, non-transactional on the website, that doesn't contain anything personal, whatever. The sensitive one that are applied to transactional website, like say Amazon. Professional one, obviously the one you use in your professional life. And the very, very sensitive one, like the one you're using for your bank, for encrypting emails or data, for crypto wallets, things like this that are highest sensitivity. So how to build them in not such a traumatic way, being able to remember them, but still being strong enough not to be breached. Say the first one, the basic password, is really, really strong. This one is dire straits and 2 special characters and wood brass. If I go on the wood brass website to buy some instruments, music instruments, then I'm in this environment of music, so dire straits, and I'm in this website wood brass. So I know that my root password is dire straits, and I would use some coordination character here. And then I would put the website name right after. So that way, I have a different password per website, which is still a very strong password and that I will never forget. The second level of password, the sensitive password, you can invert the construction, for example, and complexify the password. Say it's your password for Amazon. You can tell Amazon, it's not so bad because you have a more complicated password after. You can use some special characters and say Rolling Stones, for example. And that is still very strong. Okay, it's not perfect. I know, the cybersecurity expert will tell you like it's not the best. I know. But it's still an easy, decent way of creating good passwords. The professional password level should contain something like, for example, your dire threat again, or a totally different route would be better. Special characters, and for example, you append the name of the application that it's destined to. For example, Conta is accountancy, right? And for the high sensitivity password, you should definitely use a passphrase. It's more secure than anything else. So a sentence is better than a password is a good, for example, passphrase, curiously. So don't use that one, obviously. But if you replace one or two characters by special characters, it's a super strong password. So, just think about what you like, append the thing together, aggregate them, or take random words and aggregate them and put a bit of special characters. Easy to remember, extremely safe to use. So this method has mainly pros. You don't have any two passwords identical in any places. The construction make them super hard to guess, and yes, they are still very strong. You're unlikely to forget them, ever. And if you need to change them, you can change only one of them. It's super easy to identify the one that has been compromised. The caveat, though, is that if one of your passwords gets intercepted, for example, say a basic password, the hacker, if it's targeting you, can understand the structure of your password creation, leading to further compromission. But it's extremely likely to happen, except if you're targeting you and only you, because when there are large data breaches, usually they just, stack the credential and brute force them without going through all of them, because they have millions of them, literally. And as a bonus, remember that you can draw letters. For example, A can be drawn with a slash, a dash, and a backslash, for example. Or H also can be drawn like this, or L. So if you want to substitute letters with like special characters, it's pretty easy to do. You can always append two words together with some coordination in between. And a passphrase is stronger. The Sandman will not steal my dream is stronger than Sandman or Dream or Sandman something dream, right? And some special characters are even stronger than others because they are really, really, really rarely used. Like, for example, this square root signal, character is barely used anywhere. So you can type it on your keyboard easily, and you can include it in a password, which makes it extremely resilient to any kind of brute force. And yes, now is the best moment to change your password ever, because it's always something you push further to later times, but now is the time. It's an extremely good time to build your new password and secure yourself and secure your company. So I'm delighted I had time to discuss with you about this, and please go change your password now.